Are Arsenal's new signings going to make a real difference? Will Ten Hag whip Man United into shape? Is Erling Haaland really as good as people say he is? I don't have answers to any of those questions, but at the very least, I've got some pretty good predictions. Hi everyone, welcome to the Footy Girl channel where this girl talks everything football or soccer. Today's topic are English Premier League predictions. So I'll be presenting 5 predictions in no particular order. I mean, not in the order of possibility or probability that I think they'll occur in, but just 5 predictions that I thought about heading into the 2022-2023 season. But before we talk predictions, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and click the bell if you'd like to be alerted every time I drop a new video if you're interested in seeing in-depth football content. So without further ado, what are 5 predictions heading into the next season of the English Premier League? Prediction 1. Man United and Arsenal won't make the top 5. As of the time posting this video, there are a lot of folks leaving Arsenal, namely Lacazette and Guendouzi. However, Arsenal has quite a few folks coming in. We'll start with Marquinhos. He is a young striker. Not really sure where he'll be slotted in as of right now. Maybe a future investment, but maybe we'll see him getting some start time. He didn't play much at Sao Paulo last season, so I feel he's yet to really prove himself anywhere. Next, there's Matt Turner, who Arsenal interestingly signed as essentially their backup goalie, but who is the US men's national team #1 goalie. It'll be interesting to see a #1 in action during the World Cup who will arguably, between Ramsdale and Leno, not get any first team playing time at Arsenal. But the cool thing about Matt Turner is he's already asserting himself as a gunner. As for Fabio Vieira, Arsenal's June 21st signing, a attacking midfielder from Porto, he was quite prolific in the Portuguese league last season with 6 goals and 14 assists. So not surprising that he caught Arsenal's eye, and he'll likely, just due to his young age at 22 years old, be a good long-term investment. Not to body shame, but I really think that Fabio could improve his physicality. For scale, I know that you're just seeing me from shoulders up, but Fabio Vieira and I are actually the same exact height, but I am a total of 3 kilos larger than him. So considering the fact that I'm a US size 4, that's really, really small. Again, not to shame his size, but he is a very, very small guy and nimble, but very small guy. There is room for him to put on a few more pounds. And that's it for Arsenal signings. I don't think there's anybody else to discuss. What? Why are you guys looking at me? There's no one else to talk about. Seriously, that's it. I'm forgetting somebody? Who am I forgetting? Oh man, you guys are right. One more signing to discuss. Gabriel Jesus, that's right. Arsenal's, as of today at least, July 2nd, unofficial signing from Man City, the right side forward. Twitter has been chatting endlessly about him, and I kind of feel like he's slated to be Arsenal's quote-unquote high-profile signing of the summer trade window. But then again, in true inconsistent Arsenal fashion, they stole their own thunder by accidentally announcing him via their online store. But at 8 goals and assists last season, not too bad from Gabriel Jesus, considering that he didn't have that many appearances. He did spend some time on the bench at Man City. I think he'll be a good link with Vieira and Odegaard in the attacking midfield. Acquisitions, sales, and loans aside, speaking of Odegaard, I was impressed with him last season, and I hope he continues his positive trajectory during the 2022-2023 season. Last season, he scored 7 goals and provided 4 assists. I just think he needs to lay off the soda a little bit. Yeah, I'm giving Arsenal a little bit of shit, but I did drop some cash mo to see them in Florida a little later this month. Anyway, I generally think that Arsenal will not be in the top 5 at least during the first half of the season, because they're going to need some time to gel. New acquisitions, great ones, but the team will have to get in some practice, get to know each other better. So I don't see this season starting off much differently than the first half of the 2021-2022 season did. I don't really think that Arteta has been very revolutionary in terms of coaching the team. I think the team really pulled things together for themselves at the end of last season. So who knows how this season will start for Arsenal. We could start to see more hashtag Arteta out on Twitter. As for Man United, again, at the time of posting this video on July 2nd, we are still in the thick of the summer transfer season, but honestly, not much has happened with United in terms of acquisitions. However, a few notable players like Cavani, Mata, Pogba, and Lingard have been released. Of course, the Dutch duo Frenkie de Jong and Tyrell Malacia are rumored to be imminent Man United signings. But according to Barcelona president, Frenkie de Jong to Man United might be improbable this season. Interestingly, both Arsenal and Man United have been vying to get Lisandro Martinez, the Ajax center back, who is a pretty bright kid, young guy, 24 years old, had a great season at Ajax, and may be the latest casualty, if you want to see it that way, the latest sale that Ajax makes. Generally, I think Man United is just in the stage right now of cleaning up their squad. I mean, I do think they need to make some acquisitions defensively, as their backline was a hot mess last season, and the results from last season show that. Now, I'm not going to bring in Pogba hate here. His contract expired. He's leaving. He's history as far as Man United is concerned. Honestly, he wasn't even their biggest problem last season. He had the second most assists in the club. Now, naturally, managerial drama didn't help Man United much last season either. After Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, Ralf Rangnick became the interim coach. And, from my perspective, it was interesting to see folks get excited about Rangnick, then shit on him at the end of the season before Erik ten Hag was appointed in April of this year to begin the 2022-23 season and beyond, signing a contract until 2025. It'll be interesting to see how the team performs under former Ajax manager Erik ten Hag. He's got the guys having to show up at the pitch by 9 a.m. Can you imagine having to show up for work at 9, like most of us do, working 9 to 5? Like, mind-blowing. Previously, under Rangnick, only the youth players had to show up at 9 o'clock. So this is mind-blowing for some of the stars on Man United. According to the media and Man United players alike, Ten Hag's style has been more organized, more offensively minded training sessions, unlike the ones under Solskjaer and Rangnick, which focused more on what to do without the ball and lacked correction of players' mistakes. As Melissa Reddy wrote for SkySports.com, Ten Hag is determined to have players comfortable on the ball and making decisions with surety. The Dutchman steps in each time a directive is not carried out properly, guiding players through exactly how he wants it to be done. All in all, so far, Man United fans seem pretty pleased with the changes that Ten Hag has made, off the bat from day one. But for Ten Hag's sake, let's hope that Man United actually improve. Otherwise, the fans are just going to switch it up real fast, and maybe they'll start to see his training regimen as like some kind of Hitler style training plan or something if Man United don't do well. In terms of existing players at Man United, I think Maguire should lose the captaincy. I disagree with all compliments Solskjaer gave him.
Harry has been wearing the captain's armband and he will keep wearing it. He's come in and been a leader in the group.
His terrible defending aside, he clearly doesn't have what it takes to be a commander on the field and a solid captain. Honestly, I think De Gea should be the captain. He's quite vocal. He's kept, the shambles of the defensive line solid enough to make it sort of decently through the last season. Generally, keepers, particularly keepers of De Gea's caliber, make really good captains. I mean, look at Neuer. Some folks prefer other positions be captains. What do you guys think? How about Ronaldo? Will he stay or will he go? I think he'll stay. He's been pretty vocal about his displeasure with, the not so active transfer window and, obviously generally the way things went last season. I mean, I think he'll stay, and I think during the 2022-2023 season, Ronaldo will continue to pull his weight. The stats don't lie. He had the best offensive record at Man United during the 2021-2022 season, so there's no reason to think that Ronaldo won't perform if he does stay, but the defense really needs to pull their weight for his offensive efforts to matter, obviously. Prediction number 2. Haaland will be the top scorer. When it comes to Erling Haaland, the stats speak for themselves, really. If you'd like to see a more detailed breakdown of his offensive record, then check out my Adeyemi video in the flag at the top corner of this frame. But long story short, last season, he scored a total of 23 goals and took 100 shots on goal. So his stats are almost on par with Ronaldo's stats from last season. But, Haaland is very injury prone. In fact, last season he missed almost 100 days, over 90 days, not quite 100, but almost 100 days. But he still scored 23 goals. So can you imagine how prolific he would have been had he started in all games or most games during the season? No matter which section of the table Man City find themselves in by Christmas time, Haaland is going to be at the top of the goal scoring table. Prediction number 3. Nottingham Forest will be in the top 10. The 2022-2023 season is going to be Nottingham Forest's first season in the Premier League in 23 years. Can you believe that? Before we get into how the first half of next season might look for them, let's do a quick rundown of the club's recent history. 10 years ago, the club was essentially in shambles. They were sitting at the bottom of the table, inches away from the relegation playoff in the championship. They went through manager after manager, some of whom were former Forest players themselves, such as Stuart Pearce and Dougie Freedman. And by the 2015-2016 season, they'd been out of the Premier League for a whopping 17 years. By 2017, Evangelos Marinakis, who also owns the Greek club Olympiakos, purchased Forest from the Al-Hassawis. And by the 21-22 season, they had been in the championship for almost 5 years since the Marinakis acquisition. During last season, however, Dane Murphy was appointed as chief executive and George Sirianos was brought in as head of recruitment in order to take a more analytic touch to the Forest transfer policy. In order to avoid sort of quote-unquote short-termism of the previous windows, they decided to no longer sign any players for more than £18,000 a week. So essentially their method was to target younger players who they could obviously give lower salaries, but then improve their game and turn them around for a profit and sell them. And the changes worked in tandem with the magic from Forest's new coach that they appointed last season, Steve Cooper. The team was in last place in late September when Cooper came in, but he got Forest to 7th place by Christmas time. And ultimately, the true sort of Cinderella story here, Forest made it to 4th place by the end of the season and qualified for the promotion playoffs. And then during the playoffs, they defeated Sheffield United on penalties, so a skin on their teeth. And they advanced to the final stage against Huddersfield Town. And once again, by the skin on their teeth, they made it through. They beat Huddersfield Town 1-0 and finally earned promotion to the Premier League. And now they've embarked on their journey in the Premier League with a spectacular offensive signing in Taiwo Awoniyi. I have watched this guy all throughout his time at Union Berlin in the Bundesliga. Man, this guy is such a baller. He's such a star. He's gonna kill it. I think he's actually gonna compete with Haaland for the top goal scorer. If Haaland doesn't get top goal scorer, I think it will be Taiwo Awoniyi. This kid is that good.
What was it in particular about Forest that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I think for me, I would say meeting with the coach. The discussion we had actually changed my mind. And looking at the project is something I'm really looking forward to, and that's what interested me.
Of course, like any team who's been recently promoted, Nottingham Forest are going to experience tons of pressure to stay up. But not all teams are Norwiches due to their really rough past and just, not tasting the Premier League for double-digit years. Nottingham Forest is really going to fight to stay at the top the next season. Forest has released quite a few players, but likely they are making room for quality younger players for cheaper prices, or maybe even players from their youth ranks. However, Forest did sign Man United shot stopper Dean Henderson on loan. So this will be the latest of a series of loans he has been on since joining the senior team of Man United in 2015. Prediction number 4. Everton will be in the relegation zone. Will be interesting to see how long Frank Lampard holds on at Everton during the next season, or if he's actually still around by Christmas. Lampard's time at Everton so far is only looking slightly better than his Chelsea stint, with Everton finishing in 14th place during the 2021-2022 season and barely staying up. Also, during this year's summer transfer window, there has been pretty much zero activity in regards to bringing in quality players. So one would think that Everton will be attempting to make strategic moves with the £60 million they got for Richarlison, but the only thing that has been accomplished aside from that deal is the release of John Joe Kenny. So if you're an Everton fan, it's likely that you're kind of, waiting with bated breath to see what the improvement plan that will be deployed by Lampard next season will be. It will be a tall order for Lampard to make sure Everton stay up, because if they are relegated, it will be their first relegation in 72 years. So Frank Lampard, absolutely no pressure here. Hopefully, Everton's first season in the currently under construction Bramley Moore Dock Stadium, which is slated to open in 2025, won't be in the Championship. Prediction number 5. West Ham will be in a Champions League spot. After mid-table finishes during the 2018, 2019, and 2019-2020 seasons, West Ham finished a pretty good 7th place during the 2020-2021 season and 2021-2022 season. So I think that this team will definitely be vying for a Champions League spot during the next season. Also, going past the first half of the season, I think since West Ham has fewer players comparatively to, the big 6 who are playing in the World Cup, they might have an edge in terms of less fatigue on the team and carry their success all the way to the end of the season. And those are all of my predictions for the first half of the English Premier League 2022-2023 season. And, I was going to leave it at 5 predictions, but then I had another prediction knocking around in my noggin, so I decided let's include one more. Bonus prediction: Tottenham will be in the top 5. Tottenham has obvious quality in many of their players, particularly Kane and Son, and now they've purchased Richarlison. Twitter is joking that he wouldn't have won any trophies at Everton. Duh. And they're also joking that he's not gonna win anything at Tottenham. But I tend to disagree. Tottenham are a competitive team and will be serious title contenders during the 2022-2023 season. They need to mold their strategy in preseason, but if they're consistent, they will land in the top 5 easily, I think, by the World Cup. Also, getting Ivan Perisic on a free deal, that's pretty sweet. So, do you agree or disagree with any of my predictions? What are some of your EPL first half predictions? Tell me below in the comments. Whether you agree or disagree, I think we can all come to a consensus that next season is going to be really enjoyable to watch. Personally, I'm just hoping a new team, or even a team that hasn't won the title in a while, takes it this time. Arsenal. Yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you'd like to see more content from me. And if there's a video that you'd like to see me make sure you suggest it in the comments. And also follow me on all of my socials. I am on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'll see you there, and I'll see you here next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.